Welcome to Poetry from the Dot. My name is Dennis White. I am a co-leader of the Downriver Poets and Playwrights. This is a special edition of Poetry from the Dot. It is a tribute to Mano D'Angelo, a former leader of our group who has passed away recently. Mano was a guest on Behind the Poetry Lines program we aired in May. I hope you were able to see that. He shared some of his poetry and his insights to his writing. I know in life we meet many people in our daily journeys, and sometimes we are fortunate enough to meet some extraordinary people. This was true when I met Mano D'Angelo. He was the leader of the Downriver Poets and Playwrights. Mano was a novelist, a poet, a gifted artist, philosopher, and enthusiastic promoter of all things relating to the arts. He was a wonderful mentor, encourager, and friend. He showed genuine interest in everyone he met and wherever they were in their pursuit of art and their growth in these skills. Mano was very knowledgeable in literary arts and was gracious in sharing his knowledge. I learned so much from him and everyone else around him learned an awful lot. We owe him a debt of gratitude. He led the Downriver Poets and Playwrights group for many years, and during that time, he also served as the president of the Poetry Society of Michigan. He lobbied our state legislature to restore the position of state poet laureate, and he was instrumental in bringing the National Federation of State Poetry Societies National Convention right here in Michigan, right in Dearborn. In his art, he painted in pastels, oils, he drew in charcoal pencils, and he had entered many art competitions, including the prestigious Art Prize in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Mano passed away recently after an extended battle with cancer. He was a fighter to the very end. He loved his family and his friends, and that love never wavered. He also loved sailing, biking, tennis, and many other activities. It was so apparent that he loved life. Mano D'Angelo has certainly been an extraordinary individual in my life, and his legacy will live on through his words, his poetry, his painting, his art, every good thing he's left behind for us. We share with you today this tribute to Mano D'Angelo. We will share some tribute poems. We'll be reading some of his poetry also. I hope you enjoy what you hear today and that you are able also to appreciate Mano D'Angelo. So let's get started with our reading as we share this tribute on Poetry from the Dot.
Hello, I'm Mary Ann Bozinski. I'm a current member of the Downriver Poets and Playwrights. I have been an on-again and off-again member, and once more on-again member of the group for many years. Today I want to share with you a poem which I wrote, which was inspired by Mano D'Angelo. The title of the poem is A Man to Remember. A man to remember. brilliant and fascinating, poet, artist, author, with a lengthy history of impressive leadership roles. A man of strong character. Character was important to him. This I know because of the written feedback from him on one of my poems. He was direct and honest. At the time, I did not understand the importance of his words. Today, I realize he was helping me to become a better poet and develop my own true character. I'm sorry our time with him has been cut short. He will not be forgotten. His memory will live on in the hearts and minds of the many lives he has touched during his time with us. End of poem. Thank you.
I'm George Wiley, co-leader of the Downriver Poets, and also a former friend of the late Mono D'Angelo. Mono, among other things, was an avid sailor. He had sailed in the Detroit to Mackinac race many times, and his sailboat was seen all around his home of Grosse Ile, the north end of Lake Erie, and the Detroit River. An avid sailor, a wonderful man. And the two things I'm going to read have a sailing reference. The first is a poem written by Mono called Fog Bank. And if you've sailed anywhere, you know that sailing into a fog bank is not good. This one's called Fog Bank. Fog is the tapestry beneath which the familiar becomes alien. A damp, clinging oneness repaints the sea beneath the hull, casting doubt where confidence once prevailed in even the most accomplished of navigators. Silence is heightened as the telltale sounds of warning and fear erode the bliss, enjoyed in a well-trimmed sail and good turn of speed. A clanging ship's bell, a clarion horn trumpeting hazard or a shoal. The melodic thumping of an approaching freighter strains the senses, confuses the mind. Even in this sea of precision technology, uncertainty creeps into decision. Distant taints every action until the sun returns to restore the sanity. It's called Fog Bank by Mono D'Angelo. And in tribute to Mono, I'd like to also read a cover by the great Alfred Lord Tennyson about sailors, the end of life for a sailor. This is a very famous poem called Crossing the Bar. Sunset and evening star, and one clear call for me. And may there be no morning of the bar when I put out to sea. But such a tide as moving seems asleep, too full of sound and foam, when that which draws from the boundless sleep turns again home. Twilight and evening bell, and after that the dark. And may there be no sadness of farewell when I embark. For though from our bourne out the time and place, the flood may beat me far, I hope to see my pilot face to face when I have crossed the bar. A Tennyson poem called Crossing the Bar in honor of Mono D'Angelo. Thank you.
I'm Tom Porter, rhyme writer from Woodhaven, member of the Downriver Poets and Playwrights, and a poem that I have for you is one of Mono D'Angelo's. This is like a little tribute to Mono for his accomplishments and his involvement in our poetry group. It's called One with the Bear. The late day sun had started to slump, and twilight shadowed the path to the dump. Bob and I jumped the fence of old rusted cable, carrying 2 bags of garbage as best we were able. The great pit was bordered by forest and grass, and slowly was filling with mountains of trash. We tossed our bags in the hole while chatting away, oblivious to the creature eyeing us as his prey. Then from the bush I could feel the dark stare of a big, black, and burly Canadian bear. I nervously turned, and to my surprise, could see we were studied by its evil-filled eyes. It was then I discovered between us and the bear was 25 feet of nothing but air. The large, hungry beast appeared in a foul mood, when sheer panic replaced my calm attitude. It was then I remembered the classic old line, "Just run faster than Bob, and all will be fine." End of poem.
I would like to share with you 2 cover poems. They were written by Mano D'Angelo, and I believe you're going to like these. The title of the first poem is "To Love an Old Boat." Beneath decades of peeling paint and paled varnish lies the bones of a once proud maiden. Her glory days have passed, but a faint heartbeat remains to those who will listen. Like befriending an old shelter dog, one must find a path to her potential passion. A passion that will cry out in unspeakable tongue, pleading to be made whole once again. There is a calming embrace in restoration. A sense of righteousness resonates through her shell, uniting one sweat and 8 grit sandpaper. Rekindles the spiritual awakening between man and vessel. A bond develops that is difficult to explain. An ancient majesty emerges like that of a ghost reclaiming her youth. The caregiver's energy is magnified, his devotion to her every need unwavering. This labor of loving affection is often measured in months, if not years, with few complaints. But once her new makeup is applied, this sultry lady will again dance upon sparkling waves. Her mainsail a flying afore a following sea. End of poem. A poem by Mano D'Angelo. The second poem I would like to read, the title is Chrome Pony, and it was written by Mano D'Angelo. This pony has not 4 legs upon which to stand, has no mane to course through summer breeze. It cannot be trained. It eats no carrots, oats, or hay. It has no gender. This pony drinks no water, needs no sleep or rest. With the strength of 100 brothers, it soars to a sound of power, like that of a demon wind and black thunder. This pony has not the soul of a Kentucky filly, but a grit of concrete, asphalt, and cobblestone. This pony possesses a heart of iron, lungs of steel, and gallops tirelessly on feet of gleaming chrome and rubber. It bears no longing to follow the herd, but rather beckoned to its rider's command. This pony delivers a quest for adventure, as did namesakes of cowboy legend. It will blaze trails into the unknown, through cathedrals of towering granite, over hills kissed by veiled waterfalls, or journey atop endless miles of silver ribbon, chasing sunsets of gold, umber, and tequila. This pony knows not its own name, but a word reveres the noble legacy. A single word that is all one needs to invoke images of unbridled freedom, of wild boys in cool sunglasses, of black leather jackets. This is a Harley. End of poem. A poem by Mano D'Angelo.
My name is Mark Usabi, and I'm from Dearborn, Michigan, and I'm a member of Downriver Playwrights and Poets. I have a memorial poem here from a gentleman by the name of Mano D'Angelo, and he was a member of the Downriver Poets and Playwrights. And I'd like to read it to you. We lost him some time ago, not too long ago, but anyways, I'd like to do this poem for you. It's entitled A Sailor's Prayer. A beat to windward, power and grace, sing their songs. Through the rigging, the crisp snap of tackling jib. As leeward sheets flail before the mast, with a hand upon the tiller, man connects with a mystic sea. Cracking off into a beam reach, loaded winches growl like hungry wolves, as reluctant lines grind against stout drums. With mainsail and Genoa eased into full-bodied roundness of Renaissance women. The bow knives into the building surf, with crashing exhilaration, a building breeze from astern, welcomes the downwind run like an old lover. The spinnaker blooms with an explosive pop, splashing hues of crimson, white, and navy. High against the bronze-tinged sky, the skit shims above the following seas, while helmsman and crew relish the power of a stout boat and fair wind. May your final sail embrace the same life's passion you bestowed upon me many years ago. Thank you for that, old friend, and may you rest in peace. Dedicated to Mano D'Angelo. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Mano D'Angelo, and I'm going to read some poetry for you. I was the former director of the Downriver Poets and Playwrights. I was also a two-term president for the Poetry Society of Michigan, and I've written a book that contains about 50 or 60 of my poems, some of which I'll read for you today. I come from a purely Italian family. I had the good fortune to go back to visit the homeland in which I was born, which was Naples, Italy. And the next poem I'm going to read is a reflection of the emotional experience that that trip had on me. And I call it Going Home. Sienna cobblestones, rough-hewn edges softened by journeys of 1,000 ancient lives, lead me to the root of my being. once on the path of horse-drawn carriages of forgotten generations, these stones now drone beneath rubber tires for which they were never intended. I stare at the passing landscape, at this place that once was home. Who would I be? What fate would life have thrust upon me? Profound and haunting thoughts, invading my awareness with puzzling frequency and burning urgency. We stop before an aged dwelling, the color of red wine framed narrow windows. My family gathers at my side, pointing to the second floor. Solemn voices speak. There is the place of your birth. The hair on my neck stiffened. My flesh tingled in a carpet of anxiety. Quivers emerged from deep within. This place that was once home rips emotion from the deepest corner of my soul. I feel the presence of a weeping heart, a boundless love that once consumed me. I climb a creaking staircase, the aroma of past lives filling my senses. Cracked walls, scuffed doors invite me to embrace the echoes of my ancestors. Heavy wooden door swings open. A curious tenant feels my connection to this place that once was home. My heart races, my breathing halts. I step back into time. Oaken floors gouged and tarnished. Could these flaws be of my doing? Flaking past plaster, rough and yellowed. Did my hand ever touch these walls? 100 questions, forever without answers. In this darkened room, illuminated only by the light of a single window, my life began. Tears again flow here, in this place that once was home. End of poem. From an Italian family, I was born in Naples, Italy, and this next poem is entitled An Italian Dinner. It was a small kitchen, a Sears and Roebuck gas stove, tiny Kelvinator fridge, and a maple-topped table barely large enough to seat 6. Dinner in our Italian home was an event not taken lightly. Dad returned home from work at 4:30, and Mom served dinner no later than 5. Their 4 children knew when to quit playing with friends and return home. Dinner hour awareness became a function of instinct. Our supper glowed in precious harmony, not fully appreciated until years later. The homemade meals, served with generous portions of love and comfort, drew the family together. The tiny room was always hot, the conversation often rowdy, more shouting than discussion, with ample laughter to balance the scale. Those dinners, the cement that bonds the family together, remain a legacy of its departed originators. The 6 are now 21. Each Christmas and Thanksgiving we gather to share the traditional meals of our childhood, raise a glass of wine, and celebrate family. If only Mom and Dad were here to see the momentum of love that they have created. End of poem.
Hello again. My name is George Wiley from the Downriver Poets and Playwrights. It just so happens by coincidence that the same month that we have this memorial video for Mano D'Angelo, we also had newly published book we put out, as you can see, called Homegrown Poetry. And the great thing about this book is, along with having 35 poets and a bunch of other things, is the book is actually dedicated to Mano D'Angelo. And inside the book pretty much starts with the dedication to him and some other memorial poets as well as the rest of us.
This has been our memorial tribute show honoring Mano and the grand influence he has had on all of us. I hope you have been given a glimpse of his marvelous creative energy as well as his well-crafted poetry. If this has inspired you to visit poetry yourself, I invite you to come visit our group, the Downriver Poets and Playwrights. We are a local group, writing group, a very supportive group. We are an inclusive group. We welcome everyone to come and share their work, and we together, we learn from one another, and we grow as poets and writers. It's not just poetry. Other forms of writing are included too. And I have on my shirt, got poetry? I hope you have some, and that you can come share it with us. Thank you again for allowing us to share this program, and I hope to see you next time on this show, Poetry from the Dot.